What's up? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be the current Maliss build that I'm taking to locals as well as playing online. It is the Maliss Radiant Typhoon build with a couple tweaks that I think are really good and a lot of things that are inspired by other players that have given their input. Everything's the same, right? Your one white rabbit, your one dormouse, you have your three chessy cats, you have your three mouse march hare, you have your two field spells plus the third field spell. You have Maliss in the Mirror, and then your MTP and TB11. It's all the standard stuff. There's no reason to play GWC if we don't have Whitebinder live. There are more games where Goldsark is more of just a dead card or a bluff rather than extender because the combo goes so crazy with the Typhoon engine. Because you can guarantee dump the Dormouse, and then they either check your March Hare or your Bestial or the Haggard. And the combo of Cherubini into Haggard Lizardos is so foolproof into negates because it sends for cost or banishes for cost that a lot of times the Goldsark doesn't really matter, but we keep this just for consistency. So that's the standard stuff, just 1-3-3, nice and easy. Can't play any more, can't play any less. You could technically cut to 2 March Hare, but it comes up enough where you just need to. Then to the slimmer package, we are running the 2 Adignisters, a backup, and the 1 Wizard Adignster. This seems fine. Most of the time I open one of these anyway, so I don't even need to go to Wicked, but you don't want to see too many because it's a normal summon. You don't really want to have a normal summon. So for the Radiant Typhoon package, at the moment I'm doing 2 Swen, 1 Eldum, 2 Visions, a Chant, and an MST. I'm not loving the 2 Swen and the 1 Eldum. I only have 1 copy of Eldum at the moment though. I think drawing 2 Eldum would make more sense and the 1 Swen, because this just adds one of these spells and then the spells can add this. So if you get drolled on Eldum, at least you have the monster to summon, so it makes more sense. So cutting him to 2 and cutting Swen to 1 I think makes more sense, but this is all I have right now. So this is what I'm playing in person. Online I'm playing with 2 Eldum. So we can summon Eldum, add this guy. If they droll you, cool, you still full combo, for the most part at least. And then obviously the 2 Visions to draw, the 1 Chant to add one of these if you need to add this. So you can go Chant, add Eldum, summon Eldum, add Swen. If they don't droll you, Swen, add Vision. And then you just wait until you get 2 Maliss in the Mirror to activate Vision to draw. This goes crazy going second. I don't cut out, I keep this package going second or first. This is the package that I cut out because these names are dead going second. Not always, but sometimes. Then go into hand traps. That is the 3 Fuelos, running 3 drolls. So you either draw a lot, or prevent your opponent from playing, or prevent your opponent from drawing a lot. So these are kind of all or nothing cards. 2 ghost spells, I think it does okay. I mainly love the interaction against called by. So if you're going first and your opponent's main decking called by, you have an out to their called by. That's kind of the way I see it more than anything. Also, it's just really good for anything that wants to recur. The 1 Bestial, I have the rest in the side deck. I'm currently testing online without these, and I'm main decking 3 Bestials and citing the ghost spells, but we'll see. I like the ghost spells in the main deck a lot. The 1 Shifter, the 3 Dominus Impulses. It does conflict with every single one of these hand traps, but you just have to layer it up. You have to fool them first, droll them, ghost spell, and then you impulse last. Because if you impulse, then you can't go into the Radiant Typhoon engine anyways. So if you're going second, it's best just not to. But if you're going second and after game 1, I side out these guys anyways. So you can just keep the impulses, and that way you can go Fua, draw into your Bestials and Bells and Drolls, and then impulse, or just save the impulse for your turn. If you're going second after the die roll, it seems to work out pretty well. And then the last few spots goes to the called by and 3 droplets, just trying to max out on the quick play spells so you can get enough draws without being too much. I think the droplets are pretty necessary. There are some games where I side these out going second, and then yeah, I think called by going first is just too good. Sometimes I keep it in first or second depending on the games, but if you go with Vision, you have a decent amount to open up one of these, and if you don't, you have a decent amount of, I'll just keep Vision in hand until I get to Ransom, add Mirror, and if they haven't drilled me by then, vision effect, draw 2, discard the mirror, and sometimes it's a backup. You never know, it can be anything crazy. So that's everything in the main deck. It's gonna be 40 cards. Then we're gonna go to the side deck as of right now. So I'm playing 2 Bestials and 3 Veilers. The Veilers are pretty good if you don't go into Shifter or DDG. Drawing the Veilers with Fua is crazy because it's just negate, negate, negate. So it's pretty good. Again, with Impulse, you just have to layer it. The 2 Bestials are pretty good. I kind of like these in the main deck, so I'll keep testing online. But I'm really loving that as far as monsters go. Then we go to our board breakers. So we're running the 1 Harpies, the 2 Lightning Storms. This depends, of course, on matchups, because if you're going to play the Bestials, then you can't play the Lightning Storms. So there's that. You also have Droplet though, so you can always send like a Jerusalem or something. But I like the board breakers too much because it just gets rid of the back rows for any Floodgatey deck or any deck that just combos off too much. Playing the 3 Lord of Darkness, or not 3 Lord of Darkness, sorry, the Dark Ruler no more. These are just too good into Doomsday. I have to respect that matchup because it comes up way too much, and it really sucks when I have nothing. Then we're playing 2 Thrust, so you can go ahead and go into your Dark Ruler. You can go into your Lightning Storm, or your Harpy's Feather Duster, or your Gold Sark. And then for the other 2 one-ofs, we're running the Evenly Matched and Different Dimension Ground. For going first, for going second, with the Thrust package. So going first, swipe out the Fuwas, these 2 guys. Going second, throw in the Evenly if it's something that you can afford to play. Any kind of combination of these cards, there's a decent amount of cards in the side deck you can take out if you want to go for this package. And then for the extra deck, just these 2 are really Konami. Wish I could get upgrades of these cards. These cards are so pretty. I'm keeping these as unofficial tokens. I'll write on them soon that they are tokens so I can use them. It's kind of like good luck charms because I love these cards so much. I just wish that the rarities change like this. So for our Link ones, it's going to be Link Rebo and Link Disciple. I think it's wrong not to play at least 2 Link ones. I think running 3 or 4 was kind of overkill, but in pure decks it makes a lot of sense. You don't really need the 2 Link Rebo, but Link Rebo, Almirage, and Link Disciple are pretty necessary because it comes up way too much. There's times where the Link Disciple does come up and you need to draw a card if you're sending something. You know, this card, send Jerusalem, like you never know. Sometimes you don't want to make this unless you know you're going to play into an Imperm, so I like to save the Link Rainbow. This has actually saved me games when I'm going first and I have my allied Agnister or whatever, Firewall Dragon or something, and then I summon a Link Rainbow with one of my spare Cybers monsters, like a wizard or something, and then this has beaten Evenly Matched before, so it's too good not to. This card just checks Impulse and it's crazy. For the 2 ofs, traditional, we have the Haggard and the Wicked. Of course, this gets you to back up. This gets you to your Link 3. And then as well as the Cherubini. So if you're playing your Link 3 plays or your level 3 plays with your Radiant Typhoon cards, you need the Cherubini to send a monster to the grave, to then banish it off of Haggard, to then make your Link 3. You're playing the SP, of course. Often an extender, sometimes an NPs, depending on things. The arrows suck though, so you have to really be careful with SP. But it's never a bad play. We run the Heat Soul for when you're making Wicked in this. Sometimes you need to get to your side deck cards when you're going first and they haven't rolled you, so I go ahead and link these 2 different attributes. Go into Heat Soul, draw an extra card and keep comboing. We run the Protect Code Talker. He plays with the Firewall Dragon. So this can also play this. Go into your Firewall, but you have to have your arrows linked up. You then have the Protect Code effect in the graveyard as a quick effect if you have Firewall Dragon, so you can banish, say, your Cryptor during your opponent's turn, or you can banish the Ransom during your opponent's turn to turn off your plays. Summon Ransom, now you're co-linked. Summon this guy, protect him from being targeted, now he's co-linked, now you have a 3 bounce. Things like that, right? So the Firewall and the Protect Code is way too good. I think this package is really, really good. Of course, the Ransom and the Cryptor. It's the most you can really do. I've seen a list with 2 Cryptors. I think that's fine, I guess, if that's what you want to do, but I wouldn't play 2, but I guess if it gets ripped out of from Cool Tune, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, Ransom and Cryptor, of course, since we don't have White Binder anymore. Then we have the Board Breaker, the Access Code Talker. and then the boss monster of the ILLIT Code Talker at Ignister. This card is just too good if you end on this guy. You end on him, you bring back Code Talker. Ideally, you'd have a Firewall Dragon. Maybe bring back, or you'd have to have Ransom already, so maybe Ransom during your opponent's turn. But you'd want to go into these guys because he protects these two from being targeted. He's your free draw, and then he's your bounce. You use a March Arrow, whatever, summon Red Ransom. Now you have a couple more arrows. Ideally, you could also do this and have the Lingeribo in the graveyard to protect, banish to protect this guy from being targeted, or tribute him to summon him to protect him, whatever. And then, of course, the access code. No more needs to be said. This guy is just crazy. It's one of my favorite end pieces for going for game. Two of the cards that I run as a spice is the Proglio, which I'm really liking a lot. This card's kind of crazy. Let me show you a play, right? So you have this in your hand. Now what do you do? I guess you would have probably normaled the backup at Ignister, but whatever. Say for sake of this, you normal summon this guy or whatever, right? Say this is your board somehow. How do you go from this to turn your backup at Ignister live? This guy is just two monsters without a token. But it's not a token, so you just go link to, now this card's live. The real example that it comes up for that I noticed more than anything is lately I've been playing a lot of decks that love to flip cards face down, right? So say you have Chessie and Dormouse, right? So I normal Chessie, I use Chessie effect to banish to draw 2. I banish Dormouse from my hand. I activate the Dormouse effect to summon back. And on summon, my opponent has a card that allows them to flip one of my monsters face down. So they go ahead and target my Dormouse. So they flip my Dormouse face down. From here on, if you don't have any extenders, even if you have March Hare, like, yeah, of course, you can just link the Chessie off, go into March Hare or whatever, right? But there's times where this is crucial and you need this body and there's no way for you to actually get to it. Is you want to get to the Lingeribo somehow, right? And use whatever. Say you have a backup, you summon the backup effect to add a Dormouse, or not a Dormouse, you add a March Hare or something. Then you can do the March Hare effect, banish Chessie, summon this. I'm trying to think. It's a weird play, but like there's times where you just need that body. So go Wicked. Say if you already have a backup. It's a really weird play. This actually would have been here anyways, since you summoned the Chessie, so that would have been an extra body. But if you're really down bad to make your plays, you go here, go into Wicked, and then the Proglio. So now you can go the Wicked effect to banish whatever, add this card back to him, whatever card you need to extend, right? Then you can activate this guy. This guy's also a summon in the graveyard. So say you were able to make some kind of link, right? So you have this in the graveyard. So you activate his effect. So you can banish this link summon card and one monster this points to, and then you can target one monster in your graveyard. And it banishes for cost as well, or activation requirement. So it'll banish this and the Dormouse, because it's one monster it points to, so it doesn't need an attribute. So it banishes from that. You can summon one link monster from your graveyard, which can be anything. It could be a link, whatever. It's actually no specific attribute. It just says you can banish this card and one of your monsters this card points to, then target one link monster in your graveyard. That is the activation requirement. Special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. So you can use that, banish both of them. That also triggers the Wicked in this case if it didn't already. Now your Dormouse can, well, your Dormouse has already been banished at this point, but say this was like a normal summon or whatever, right? It can summon this. So if you need a way, say it's turn 2 and this card's still flipped over because you couldn't get rid of it, maybe, we'll see. This card's kind of just, it's neat. It is an open spot right now for what I can do. Like these 2 spots are kind of all flex spots. Everything else I think is pretty set in stone. As far as the links go, I think these 2 are the ones that I can change. because Heat Soul is just kind of a greedy play. Proglio is kind of an extender for right now. I've messed around with Code Talker inverted, which is really cool too, because it just summons from your hand, because that does come up a lot. Both are light monsters though, so it does end up being negated, or you can't activate anymore when you impulse, so there is that. And then the last card that we're going to look at is something that I've seen online that some dude was playing. He was playing the Charmer's Quartet, which is something I'm going to try now, because it kind of does the effect of the Abalacue, right? So it gains attack for each attribute on the field. Once while this is face up on the field, during the main phase, quick effect, while it's face up, you can target 2 monsters in your graveyard with the same attribute but different types, or different types with same attributes. So you can summon Decode and say Cryptor. You could summon those two, or you could summon Allied Code Talker, and you can summon Firewall Dragon. And the thing is, like, this is only if it's link summons, so obviously it doesn't get it, but it still gets protection from what it points to, right? So this is kind of like a second boss monster if you're not locked. The thing is, it is impulse as well, so I mean, impulse going first isn't really as big of a deal, but you have a lot of attributes and stuff, and then this prevents your board from being super polyed. So if you have this, say you summon Heat Soul and Firewall Dragon or something, or Firewall Dragon and I don't know, maybe like Protect Code or whatever, right? Like the guys that you summon back, these cards can't be super polyed. So that's the theory behind that. There's a lot of Cybers, you have a lot of Cyber Stark, so maybe even just Ransom, so it protects here, it points, so it does that. I don't know. It depends on the combo. I actually haven't played with this in person or online yet. I just got this card today, so I was going to test it out at the next locals. But that's currently what I'm cooking with. I think this deck still has a lot of potential. I'm not really missing the allures at all. I think the Maliss monsters are decent. There's a lot of times where you don't see them, so that kind of sucks. The Typhoon cards are just doing wonders though. These cards are crazy. Going second, just everything's free if they do nothing. Special summon effect to add, special summon effect to add vision. It goes crazy. The amount of times you can just get free draws off of everything is really insane. And you can do the 2 bodies, commit to that. Sometimes you already open up a Maliss name, so you can just normal summon the Maliss name. I still always make Cherubini though, because why not? Unless you're under like Fuo, then maybe I'll just go Link 3. Still learning how to pilot this version specifically, but for the most part, it's nothing super crazy. You know, you typically end up on him. You bring back the Ransom. You bring back the Heat Soul. You can keep in the Kotak in the graveyard. Sometimes you're trying to get to Firewall Dragon. You kind of have to get to this point though. It just depends. The draw is sometimes really crazy if you're drawing the impulse, especially if you're going first. You draw into a Droll, one of your Bestials, you know. The effect for Firewall Dragon to add back from grave hasn't really been relevant because I typically don't play enough hand traps. If you're playing Baylor, I guess it works a little bit crazier. These 2 spots, and technically these 3 are all flex spots. So you could play the Fluid Tempest plus the Deceive Worm and Pack Bit. I didn't really like that. I didn't make it enough. It's a lot of requirements and it doesn't play through Shifter as nicely. So there's also that, because it has to send a graveyard. So if you DDG, then you have to activate everything first before you DDG. Still doing decent. The impulses are the biggest reason to be playing the deck, of course. So the impulses stay strong. As long as the impulses and Shifter are still alive, then the card does decent. Again, I think the running the Magma Hit and setting up the 2 Ghost Bells are probably the best way for me to go. I've also been playing the Perulia in the side deck online, been testing that to see how it works. I think I like it a lot. I think I actually cut out the bells entirely from the online version. I'm playing just 3 Bestials, siding the 3 Fuas and 3 Veilers, and trying it that way because sometimes it does get you a lot more draws. There's a lot of games where I just don't see Fua at all, so it really sucks not seeing this card every time I side it in. I tend to keep these guys going second, and my hand is just like 3 Maliss monsters and maybe like a quick play spell, which is cool for consistency base, but it just sucks. I wish I would see more non-engine sometimes. There are some games that go really crazy where it's like Fua, Ghost Bell, Veilers, like 2 Veilers in a row, Droll, maybe like Impulse. Let me know what your opinions are. I would love to get some criticism, always getting feedback. If I can get some gameplay recording, that'd be really cool, so I can show you guys how my combos go. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.